What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave that comment down below. We're on the road to 1,000. We hope you guys will help us get there. Alright, so we're getting a little bit more information about Kevin Feige Star Wars movie. This thing has been tight-lipped, locked in key. For some reason, they didn't even bring it out in the investor meeting. They're wanting to keep it as much of a secret as possible. So we don't have very much information over the film itself, but we do have more information over who's going to be writing it. And it's not going to be a familiar face to a lot of people, but it's someone that's got a lot of upcoming work in the MCU, and someone that Kevin Feige is very familiar with. So I'm a little bit, maybe I guess, disappointed in that. And just before I get into the article, let me tell you the reason why. I would prefer more Star Wars is like my baby when it comes to things like that. I want it, the best of the best writing on it. I want more established writers that we know will go in a specific direction, or give us a valuable script for this movie. I don't want something, an unknown that comes in there that kind of doesn't really know anything about Star Wars itself. Not saying that this guy is this way. I'm just saying I would like to know how versed in the lore a lot of these script writers are, and about whether or not they are there's someone that could bring value to the project. But let's go ahead and let's read this article. Doctor Strange 2 scribe Michael Waldron has been tapped to work on Kevin Feige's long-rumored Star Wars film with an overall deal at Disney. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness scribe Michael Waldron has been tapped to write a new Star Wars film produced by Kevin Feige. Feige is currently the president and chief creative officer of Marvel Studios. It was rumored in 2019 that Feige would be working on a Star Wars film for Disney. Since Disney did not mention it during their landmark content announcement at 2020's Investor Day, there's been no word on the film. Waldron currently serves as head writer and creator on the upcoming MCU series Loki, slated to premiere sometime this year. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which will see Doctor Strange team up with Scarlet Witch in what is being described as an MCU version of a horror film, is an integral part of Phase 4 in the MCU. Beyond that, Waldron's credits are slim, including 1 episode of Rick and Morty and 9 episodes of Harmon Quest. See, Michael Waldron has never done any work that's as big as Star Wars. He's never even been on a movie that is even comparable to it. You can say, well, it's a pretty big deal being on an MCU movie, but we haven't seen the finished product of it. Not quite sure I like the idea of Doctor Strange 2's premise. Don't like the idea of it sounds dark. It really does sound dark compared to a lot of these other MCU films. I don't know how that meshes well with what the MCU's doing, when MCU's always had more fun flicks, more than DC is more darker, and it hasn't worked out for DC so well. So I don't know how I feel towards maybe making that into a horror movie. But as far as Star Wars is concerned, I really hope that it's about the Old Republic. I'm a huge KOTOR fan. I would love for them to do a Knights of the Old Republic film. Maybe even bring in Dardanelles. Some of those little Dar Zion, all of that. Maybe even Revan himself. Something along those lines to tie into that Old Republic feel towards it. I think that would be a wonderful movie. I think Kevin Feige would be the right person to take that movie on. Kevin Feige is, again, he's the guy that you would want for a Star Wars film. he's established, and you kind of have a body of work where that you can kind of say, okay, he's going to do good on this film because of this, this, and this. This is his writing style. Because let's face it, writers have writing styles, and they're just some writing styles, no matter how grand and great they are for one project, can be terrible for another one. So with Kevin Feige, we kind of get a good sense of his writing style, about maybe the directions that he would go, about, you know, how out there he can kind of be with some of his endings. You know, J.J. Abrams was a very good example of someone that likes making things. He likes creating MacGuffins. He likes being kind of out there in his writing styles. He loves amazing things to pop up on screen, but doesn't really worry too much about it making sense in the film. It's basically, to me, this is the way I always describe J.J. Abrams. He is for like your everyday viewer, the person that really isn't invested into what they're watching. They want something that's interesting and fun at the moment. They don't sit there and think about afterwards if that movie makes any sense or what it does to the lore of that specific subject. They don't think about those things. They only think about, was it fun at that very moment. That's J.J. Abrams, and that's where J.J. Abrams makes his money doing that. J.J. Abrams doesn't do well on Star Wars films because of that one reason. Is J.J. Abrams wants to excite you at the moment. He just doesn't want you to think about the movie as a whole, and it really ruined the last Skywalker, or the Rise of Skywalker. Sorry, it really ruined that film for me because yes, when I first saw it, I was like, oh man, this is kind of cool. And then when I got to thinking about it, I'm like, oh, but the lore that he just completely destroyed in that was ridiculous. Like, it was just unbelievable how messed up. I would even go so far to say The Rise of Skywalker was more messed up than Last Jedi. Even though The Rise of Skywalker is a better film, what it did to Star Wars was almost unrepairable. So, that's just my take on it. I wanted more established writers for this new Kevin Feige Star Wars project, but we get what we can get. We'll be seeing this guy's writing style pretty soon in the Loki series, and the Doctor Strange too. So we'll just have to see. It's a big waiting game. Not quite sure why they're keeping this so under wraps. You would think that, you know, something as big as a Kevin Feige directing a Star Wars movie, you would think would be at the top of their list of wanting to bring to bring that to the forefront, but must be something that they're kind of holding out for, like a gift for fans. At least that's what I'm hoping for. You know, where fans are going to be super excited about it, build up that speculation. But we'll just have to see, guys. But let me know what you think down below. Do you think this is you think this writer is going to be good for Star Wars? You think he should stick with the MCU? I'm kind of in between on it, as for me. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.